Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So after a long pause, I'm here with a big bang of value. It's a big sales letter in terms of value, and I'm going to review it for you. But before I do that, let's talk a little bit about this website. It's swipe.co. It's an online swipe file where you can find a lot of sales copy for inspiration. If you're a marketer or advertiser, copywriter, you can find old classic ads and sales letters. You can find web copy. You can find landing pages and one of the amazing things about this swipe file in particular, swipe.co, is that the owner writes a big introduction whenever he picks a classic ad or any famous ad, any letter that delivered very well in terms of value, in terms of sales. And other than this introduction, there are annotations. Let me show you. You can switch them on, you can switch them off. They show you where something important in terms of persuasion is happening. So they're not very deep, but they help me understand a lot of things. And when I, tore down this letter, I definitely found roughly 40 persuasion techniques and hacks that were used while writing the sales letter. So what makes this sales letter so awesome? Uh, when it comes to direct response, nothing makes sales copy successful but big numbers, big stats, big sales. So the first reason that makes this a successful sales letter is that it remained controlled for 28 years. It was first published, first sent over to the target customers in 1975, and it was stopped in 2003. So this is direct mail age, and this is the age of internet, right? And what is control? Basically, control is your existing copy. So let's say I put out a sales page yesterday, and that's about a particular product of mine. And now as it goes in marketing, I'm going to see how well that performs. And then I'm going to scale that. So if the results are not very pleasing, I would definitely change the control. Let's say control is creating 1% conversion. I would like to get something that would beat the control with 2% or 3% conversion rate, right? So if a sales page or any kind of sales copy remains controlled for 28 years, 28 years is a lot of time. That means there's a transition from direct mail to internet age. That means it was a very successful letter, and there were only very minor edits. And what made it successful? That's even more pleasing. $2 billion worth of Wall Street subscriptions were sold with help of this sales letter. So you should be very happy and excited, just like I was when I did the teardown of this sales letter. And I'm going to show that to you. We're here. And as you can see, this is the sales copy. And here are my comments. And I'm going to read everything for you. Let's start reading it. Dear reader, on a beautiful late spring afternoon 25 years ago, two young men graduated from the same college. They were very much alike, these two young men. Both had been better than average students. Both were personable, and both, as young college graduates are, were filled with ambitious dreams for the future. Recently, these men returned to their college for their 25th reunion. They were still very much alike. Both were happily married. Both had three children, and both, it turned out, had gone to work for the same Midwestern manufacturing company after graduation and were still there. So, coming back to, oh, where is that? Second. Coming back to the sales letter, let me show you something. So when you read a modern day sales page, you know there is a big red colored headline in the very beginning, and there's nothing wrong with that. That too is a direct response, trick, and many people still use it till this date, to this date, and that works. But in case of old school sales letters, there were no headlines. So what they did was that they leaned a lot on the first sentence. So first sentence was supposed to do the heavy lifting. That was sort of headline, just like today it is in case of a Facebook ad. So okay, if you read this first headline, you tell me whether you get hooked or not, because I definitely got hooked and it sucked me in, and I definitely wanted to read the story. So there are many amazing things happening in the very first line. This thing on a beautiful late spring afternoon is the beginning of a great story. It hooks you, right? 25 years ago, there comes nostalgia. Two young men graduated from the same college, and it's about something that I've written here. The story is something that everyone can relate to, and it is of a time that all of us hold dear, which is college life. Thus, it retains the attention. So, this story, this sales letter, it opens with a story hook, uh, an open loop story hook, and we are reading that story now. So what's so amazing about the story that you're talking about two avatars, two target customers, two people that the target customers can resonate with, that they can align with, that are very much like them. So that's the first amazing thing. And it instills the idea that the two men were similar in all regards. 25th reunion is basically a justifier to prove that both were and are the same. So the question is, when you read the story here, when you read here that they were same before, they are same today, the first question is, how does the narrator know that uh, in all these 25 years, these two young men remain the same? The justifier is 25th reunion. So you get to think, you get to assume that maybe the narrator was a friend to these two young men. Maybe he was their teacher, maybe he was a class fellow. Whatever is the reason, he was at that reunion. He knew that they were same before, and now he knows that they are same today, till this date. They even work for the same company. And when the beauty of such a loop is when you open such a loop with a story or with a question or any way, like we do in a sales page, when we are writing a sales page or sales letter, the beauty of such a loop is that it keeps the reader thinking of what's the next logical step, what's going to happen next, where is he getting with it, right? So where is it going? Where is it taking me? And here is where the loop sort of completes the circle, right? But there was a difference. One of the men was manager of a small department of that company, other was its president. So there's a big difference. It's a big differentiator. Differentiator is a persuasion gimmick. Basically, it shows that someone tried something smart and the other one didn't try that something smart. And someone who tried something smart is basically what you are trying to sell. That's how differentiator works. So this is a logical conclusion of this loop, but the loop hasn't finished yet. So what's the difference? Then we come to this part. Let me read the notes. Then comes the conflict of the story, or in the sales letter lingo, the unique problem. It's a curiosity-filled three-liner. You can call it a subtle fascination because it keeps the reader hooked, waiting in anticipation for that difference to be unveiled. So you can see that loop is still not finished. So what's the fascination? Basically, fascination is something that Clayton Makepeace, a very a very amazing American copywriter, was famous for. So he wrote a lot about fascinations. There's a document about Clayton Makepeace's fascinations that's online, so you can learn from that. What's fascination is basically promise. It could be a subtle promise, it could be an open promise that within a minute or within a few minutes, the narrator is going to reveal a big secret. So either it could be something as subtle as this one, but there was a difference. One of them was manager, one of them was owner. Now this is subtle. He is not asking you to keep reading because he's going to reveal something, but you know that you have to keep reading. That's the effect of this fascination. In other cases, it can be very blunt. It can be something like, within a 2 minutes, I'm going to show you the difference, but let's first get to this part. So what you achieve with this, uh, like Paris Lampropoulos, one of the most successful living copywriters that we know, he talked of this thing. What you achieve with such a fascination is basically, I think it was him or John Carlton. The human brain is basically one part of our brain is reptilian, and that a part of brain it reacts to fast movements. So if you're not moving fast, you would bore your audience, and if you bore your audience, you would lose them. As David Ogilvy said, that you cannot bore someone into buying your stuff. You would always interest them into buying your stuff. So how to keep their interest? You keep them that with fast movements, like your favorite comedian, or like my favorite comedians. I have a few. All of them they move very fast on the stage, and the purpose is to keep the reptilian brain hooked. right? So that's what Paris was talking about. Paris or John Carlton, both of them were great copywriters, two amazing, rich and successful living copywriters. So basically, the purpose of fascination is basically it's a movement. So you are keep moving. You're telling them that before I tell you about that, I would, share that secret within a while, within a few minutes. But let's first talk about this thing. So you're moving from this thing to that thing without explaining fully that thing, this thing. So there is curiosity plus there is movement, and the result is that your reader it stays hooked. He never presses that small X button. Uh, okay, then comes the solution part, and there is something about these headlines that I have to tell. Not many old school sales letters used to have these headlines. I mean, I don't recall many that had headlines like this. So what's the purpose? So let me tell you the purpose. So when you're writing a sales page in the modern digital age, and once you're done writing, if you want it to be a very well designed sales page, like some people opt to do, you would trust it to a designer. And then the first job of that designer, and you yourself as copywriter, and his job as designer, should be to optimize the sales page for all kind of readers, because all of your readers are not going to read the full story. Now think about it. If I am your target customer, who is target customer of Wall Street Journal? A businessman who is interested in stocks, who is interested in new business opportunities. Now think of that kind of person, like Dan Kennedy, like he said, drive to his locality, see what kind of life he's leading. So he lives a very busy life. He doesn't have time. Some of them would definitely love to read the story, but many of them would like to skim and scan. For them, there have to be stats like numbers, like what's the offer, what's the price, how many people have already bought from you, what's the duration of the offer, stuff like that. So for those kind of people, he has added many numbers and he has added these headlines. These headlines basically explain what they can expect in this section. Here, you told me that there was a difference. There is a difference in these two men's life, and now I'm very curious, and I'm on my toes, and I want to know the secret. I want to know what is the difference. And here, the difference is given to me on several platters. So it's very awesome. You're basically optimizing it. It's very digital age kind of thing. You're optimizing this letter for people, excuse me, for people like me who don't have that much time. Let's read this part. This is solution part, by the way. Um, have you ever wondered, as I have, what makes this kind of difference in people's lives? It isn't a native intelligence or talent or dedication. It isn't that one person wants success and the other doesn't. The difference lies in what each person knows and how he or she makes use of that knowledge. See the differentiator gimmick. And that is why I'm writing to you and to people like you about the Wall Street Journal, for that is the whole purpose of the journal, to give its readers knowledge that they can use in business. Now, this is the solution part. When you're writing a sales page, sales letter, there are, excuse me, there's a hierarchy that you have to follow. You start with an interesting story or problem, right? And what is the next logical thing? You have to talk about the solution. And only after a solution, you can introduce the product. To a novice learner, solution and product part of a sales page might look like the same thing, but they aren't. Solution is solution. For example, if I want a pen, this pen is a solution. But let's imagine that this is not a marker, this is yet another pen. Now, both of these are the solutions, but this is my product and this is not my product. This is my competitor's product. So solution and products, they are not same, and thus they are not to be dealt in the same way. They have to be dealt, differently. There have to be different parts. There have to be different hierarchy. There you have to, discover different depths. And you have to do them differently. So let's see what they have done in the solution part. After an open loop, curiosity-filled fascination, he finishes the loop with explaining what made the difference. This has to be the one big differentiator, one big cause of problem, or one big cause of happiness. So it's a differentiator. If it is in your life, you're happy. If it is not in your life, you're sad, right? That's what he's trying to prove. If the knowledge is there, you're successful. If knowledge isn't there, you are just a cog in a big, machinery in a big organization. Um, One thing that was missing in the unfortunate man's life, because if there were more than one factor, that's very important, please focus. If there were more than one factor, readers won't believe that the solution to their problems is exactly what the seller suggests. So the other day, I was helping another fellow copywriter with her sales page that she wrote for a client. And I told her that not only there has to be one problem and one solution, but there has to be a link between the a unique problem and unique solution. So if you tell them that there is more than one differentiator, because differentiator is the solution, knowledge is the solution. If this writer let the readers think that other than knowledge, there could be some other differentiators that he might have missed that might be in those two men's life and that might have made all the difference, the whole purpose would have gone kaput, right? It would have it could have gone he would have lost it. So you have to make them believe that there is one differentiator, there was one problem and there is one solution for that. So you have to establish a very strong link between the problem and the solution. Otherwise, they won't believe that your solution is the solution to their problem. So it's like a bridge. So bridge shouldn't be lost. If you would lose it, you would lose the battle as well. Canceling all other factors, lack of whom may cause the unfair difference. So see, that's the thing that I was talking. The skeptical brain of reader is thinking that maybe it's not knowledge, maybe it's native intelligence that made all the difference. Maybe one was more talented, one was less talented. Maybe one was more dedicated and the other was less dedicated. And you have to cancel all these possible differentiators so that the reader, may believe that the differentiator that you are giving to them is the only differentiator. It's all about belief. So first of all, you have to get an agreement that the solution, kindly focus, I'm not talking about the product, I'm talking about the solution. So you have to make sure that the solution that you are trying to sell to your reader is what they believe in. Because if they won't think that this solution is the solution to their problem, there is no chance that they are going to buy your product. For your product is only an improved version of the solution. Your product is only the best version of the solution. So if the solution is not sold, the battle is lost. So first you sell the solution and then you sell the product. Sorry for this. So you link the knowledge with Wall Street Journal, you link solution with the product, then you instill the belief that the journal creates knowledge and thus removes all such differences. So once they know that this is the solution to their problem, and once their belief get they have a firm belief, you can see that they are now getting a better belief that this solution is the solution to their problem. Only then you can sell your product. There is a glimpse of product reveal here, but this is the product reveal section. Now we're going to read this, and this again starts with a headline, and this headline is basically a unique value proposition. And let's talk about this, by the way. So my product is unique, my product is new, my product is easy to use. These are the kind of sentences that you get to read when you read a lot of direct response copy, sales page, ads, emails, anything like that. So why they are too important, why they are so often repeated. Excuse me. Let's say you need a pen. If I tell you that I have a pen, which is not the only best pen, but there are 10 other pens like this, but these 10 pens are the best pens of the hundreds of thousands of pens that exist, you would definitely say that why should I buy this man's pen? I can buy some other man's pen, some other company's pen. Why this product? Why not other product? So not only you have to tell your reader, your target customer, that your product can help them, but you have to tell them that this is the best product in this category. This is unique. There is no other product like that. There are many other products in this category. There could be many other business journals, but no one is as unique as better than this one. So with this value proposition, he opens the product reveal part. Let me read this. You see, the Wall Street Journal is a unique publication. It's the country's only national business daily. Each business day, it is put together by the world's largest staff of business news experts. So I'm not going to read this full. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to read this part first because some very important things are happening here. First of all, he's emphasizing that the journal is not an ordinary specimen of such journals, but a unique one. And I have told you the reason why. If you tell them that there are 10 other journals like this one, they would buy them. They wouldn't buy your journal, most probably. But if you tell them that this is the best one, they would buy yours. You have better chances. The second thing is a very smart thing. So on a podcast, Paris Lampropoulos, I just referred to him. He was on a podcast, and he was talking about why today's sales copy is getting so sloppy, so bad. And he said that what many businesses and their copywriters or advertisers miss out on is first of all this unique factor that they don't bring out. They don't put out something new. The copy is not focused on something new or something exciting. The research game is not up to the mark. That's why they don't find out something new to say. And since they don't have something new to say, they drown in the sea of sameness. They say everything that everyone else is saying. Thus, they are only creating a lot of noise. They're not making any sense. They're not creating any value. And that's the first thing that he said. And you see that they are creating value here. They're telling you that this is unlike any other publication, right? The second thing he said was that one of the short ways of writing a successful sales page or sales letter is to embed proof elements in headline and body copy. So here are a few proof elements that I can see, and these are very interesting. The first one is a proof of uniqueness. Country's only national business daily. So this proof is basically related to authority. The purpose of this proof is to establish authority. Authority is a very smart thing. If you establish authority, this means that niche is yours. This means that there are a lot of tunas in that sea, but you are the only shark, right? So authority is definitely end goal. So this proof is basically to establish authority, and this proof is actually a proof of uniqueness of the product. So you are achieving authority via uniqueness actually. And let me read it again. It's the country's only national business daily. So they found out a unique selling proposition. They learned that there were many business dailies in each state and in each city of the USA, but they were state and city specific. And their journal is actually most probably the only journal with such a big circulation that it reaches out to, it reaches to each and every business reader's doorstep, doesn't matter whatever state it is, right? The second thing, the second the second proof comes here. Each business day, it is put together by the world's largest staff of business news experts. So not only they have the largest staff of business news guys, but those guys are experts. So this proof is basically proof of experience. We are more experienced. This is what you're trying to say. So yes, I mean, there are other guys who are making these pens, but uh, we are making this pen for generations. Like my grandfather started making these pens and selling them, and then my father did the same, and now I'm doing this thing. So yes, you can buy from anyone, but we are the experts when it comes to this kind of pens, high quality metal pens or whatever it is. So experience is basically a proof of success or a proof of whatever you want to prove. If you're saying you're experienced, more experienced than your competitors, you're definitely more likely to sell your stuff. Now let's read the remaining part. Each business day, the journal's pages include a broad range of information of interest and significance to business-minded people, no matter where it comes from, not just stocks and finance. See how he underlined this. But anything and everything in the whole fast moving world of business, the Wall Street Journal gives you all the business news you need when you need it. So such benefits of the journal that matter the most to target readers. Now, when you are, when you go on mentioning benefits of your product, you have to make sure that they are not centered and focused on what you like or what you prefer. You have to need to know with research as to what are the priorities of your target market. And once you know them, you have to mention those benefits first that matter the most to them. And that's a very big secret of success of sales copy. So benefits are all for them. All benefits are for the target customers, but you have to prioritize. You have to pick those benefits that matter the most to them. And another thing is I mentioned was easy. One very frequently used sales copy hack is telling that your thing is unique. Another one is that it's easy. Now, why is it important? Let's say I'm selling a tool. Let's say that tool is a web design tool. Now, if I am a copywriter and if you want me to use that tool, if you want to sell that tool to me, you have to ensure that that tool is so easy that even being a non-tech savvy person, even being a non-techie person, I would be able to use it easily. Because if you tell me that you have an awesome tool, but it's difficult to understand, there's a big learning curve, and excuse me, and I would have a hard time learning that tool and using that tool, I would not buy that, irrespective of how awesome that tool is. So easy and unique, these are two big, persuasion hacks that you have to use. Okay, so this was the solution part, and then we come to this part, and here basically this is all about the core belief. He's trying to instill this belief in our brains. Right now, I'm looking at page one of the journal, the best read front page in America. It combines all the important news of the day with in-depth feature reporting. Every phase of business news is covered. I see articles on new inflation, wholesale prices, car prices, tax incentives for industries to major developments in Washington and elsewhere. The journal is also the single best source for news and statistics about your money. In the money and investing section, there are helpful charts, easy to scan, market quotations, plus abreast of the market, heard on the street, and your money matters, three of America's most influential and carefully read investment columns. If you have never read the Wall Street Journal, you cannot imagine how useful it can be to you. Before I unveil very important and smart actually very clever persuasion gimmicks that they use here. Let's talk about this thing, the one belief that they want us to fall for. So I was reading this book written by, I think, Evaldo Albuquerque. He is a sales copywriter for Agora, and he wrote a book, 16 Word Sales Letter. I was reading that book, and he said something very amazing that the purpose of a sales page is to sell one thing. And you have to start with one belief. You have to instill one belief in your target customer's mind. Now, if I fall for this belief that knowledge is power, it would be easier for me to fall for this belief that the opportunity that leads to knowledge is the product that this company, Wall Street Journal, is trying to sell to me. This is a very smart thing to do. Knowledge is power. You are basically instilling that belief. You're repeating that belief. It's some inception kind of thing going on here. Instilling the belief that its front page is the best read one in the USA, a glimpse of or a detailed account of main articles and sections. So basically, this is the product reveal part. Uh, it's a part of product reveal part. So they are telling you when you want to know whether you want to buy a product or not. The benefits are useful in the beginning, but then you want to know the features, features as well. So he is telling you the features. He is giving you a visit of the factory, right? He is giving you what Joanna Weep calls her Aladdin tour of the product, right? Something like that. So you're basically getting to know what's in it. What is the product? Claim that it's the single best source for news and stats about money or investment. Again, authority-related claim. Single best resource. You can't say that it's the best resource, one of the best resource. It's single best resource. It has to be the single best thing. That's also what Evoldo said in his book. What you're selling should be the single best solution available, not one of the single best solutions available, not one of the few best solutions available. Showing how charts and market quotations make it easy for reader. Mention of three famous columns that claim that they are the USA's most influential and carefully read columns. Again, authority. So they are bent on authority. They are after authority here. They're trying to achieve authority, and they're using different tactics here. So then comes the purpose of all this exercise. Since you don't have the journal, you don't know how cool it is. So this is basically the amazing gimmick that they have used many times in the sales page. So we're talking about proofs. When you're selling something, you have to give proof that it will work. And this is again something that Paris Lampropoulos talked of on that podcast. I think I've heard two or three of his podcasts that he has been on, featured on. So I don't know which one it was, but he said that one of the reasons why many people fail is that they only know social proof. So there are a lot of fake or real testimonials. There was a time when text testimonials worked. Now this is the age of video testimonials, and it's awesome if you get them, but they are not the best kind of proof. The best kind of proof is your process, and this is something that senior, I'm sorry, copywriters say. So if you show your process to someone in a WYSIWYG kind of way, what you get is what you see kind of way. You basically don't need to establish any social proof because they would buy your stuff because your process actually let them take a sneak peek into your brain, how that man thinks, how is he going to deliver, how is he going to deliver on the promise that he's making. So this is that smart thing. Okay, so if you are never going to read Wall Street Journal, how else are you going to figure out or learn how useful it can be to you? So it's a really big kind of thing. What you see is what you get. It's a then and there kind of promise. So that okay, if you don't trust our beliefs, buy our journal right now, right here, and see for yourself whether it's useful or not. So it's a very smart thing to do. Then we get to the offer part. As I said, it's a hierarchy. You start with a problem or with something like attention, and then you go to interest, then you talk about solution, then you talk about product, and then definitely you have to talk about offer. Just like solution and product are not the same things, product and offer are also not the same things. If I'm selling this pen, this is the product, but offer can be different from time to time. Today it's $30, let's say. Tomorrow it's $25 because Christmas or Black Friday. Day after that, it's end of the year sale. It's $15. So offer can change. Product would remain the same. This is the offer part. A money saving subscription. Again, focus on the headlines. He picked the major benefit of the offer, one of the major benefits, and you use that for the headline to grab your attention, right? Especially to grab the attention of those people who are only skimming and scanning the copy. They are not reading everything. They are scanning numbers, important numbers. They are scanning important numbers again, time, money, results, etc., etc. So, for example, when I was reading all this detail, I first scanned the numbers. That's how my digital age goldfish kind of brain has been wired. So I read this thing, I read this thing, 2 billion, and then I said, okay, this is this is a big deal, and I should do a teardown. Put our statements to the proof by subscribing for the next 13 weeks for just $44. This is among the shortest subscription terms we offer and a perfect way to get acquainted with the journal. This is also something very amazing, and let me tell you why. Uh, First thing is again that WYSIWYG kind of proof. What you see is what you get. Then and there kind of proof where you prove the efficacy of your product then and there, where you don't leave any space for any other proof to be given. So put our statements to the proof by subscribing for 13 weeks. Okay, if you think that my claims aren't, worthy of your sort, if they are not true, why don't you test my claims? Why don't you put them to proof by buying my stuff? It's basically a rush, what do you call that? High rush sales tactics, something like that. It's something like that. And I've seen that a lot here in Pakistan as well in markets. So when a buyer is leaving a shop and he is not buying what you're trying to sell, you tell them this thing, okay, you maybe you don't have this much money for this kind of high quality thing, but if you have, you should buy and test it. I mean, tell me if it doesn't work out for you. And that kind of mean emotional or psychological tactic that works very often. Excuse me. So this is the first close, by the way. When you're writing a sales page, you have to try to close the sale at more than two occasions. So what I have seen is from the old times till new times, like I was reading Stephen Georgia's sales page yesterday, there were three closes in that. I think one was emotional, one was logical, one was sort of urgency, and that's what you have to do. So here we can read the first close as CTA, offer time limit and price mentioned. So one of the good things to do, I was listening to Mihal Sikowitz, I think, and she said that one of the bad things that businesses do is that they make it difficult for their buyers to buy things from them. So how you not make it difficult? You basically make it easy for them. You tell them everything. What's the time limit? What's the price, and how to make the payment and stuff like that. And then there comes the second close. So this is basically an upsell. Here he tried to sell us something cheap. He told us that a perfect way to test his product is to buy this subscription, because not only the subscription is very cheap, but it's also for the shortest time span, 13 weeks only. But then when we bought this idea, he tried to upsell then and there. Or you may prefer to take advantage of our better buy, 1 year for $149. So this is what this headline was about: money saving subscription, right? So you save money if you pay 1 year price in advance, and you save $40 of the cover price of the journal, right? That's the second close here. Um, okay. Plan. Okay. Number two, more time to discover the journal with less money spent. Tell them how to place orders. So the big, point that he used to sell here is that you have to make the smallest commitment, smallest time commitment, shortest subscription. And that's the biggest benefit that he was trying to use here in order to get the reader to buy the thing. The biggest benefit that was used here is basically money saving, that you save the money, and with less money spent, you actually buy more time and for the newspaper. You buy more subscription and you don't have to pay a lot. Simply fill out the enclosed order card and mail in the postage paid envelope provided. So the second thing, like I mentioned, Ms. Dikovic was saying, I think I heard her or someone else, a lady entrepreneur. This is very smart, actually, very essential. It's not very important. People often, tend to overlook these kind of things, but you have to make it very simple for your customer to place the order. And this does not only include the instructions. This includes that your order page should be simple. There should be more venues. Like today in digital age, for example, just a few days ago, I had to buy Thrive themes because I love their products, Thrive Theme Builder, Thrive Page Builder, and many plugins, for example, their Quiz Builder, and I bought the whole bundle. I wanted to buy that and I couldn't buy it because their system doesn't allow any form of payment other than PayPal. And we don't have that here in Pakistan. So what I did was that I asked a cousin to make that payment, and I then transferred that money in his account. So that's one example of bad business practice, and they are amazing guys, Thrive Team guys. And if they're making these mistakes, you should just think how many people are making such mistakes. You have to make simple and easy for your customer to buy from you. So then comes the guarantee part, and here's the journal's guarantee. Should the journal not measure up to your expectations, you may cancel their arrangement at any point. this arrangement at any point and receive a refund for the undelivered portion of your subscription. So again, talking about the hierarchy, you talk about the solution, then product, then offer, then you have to give a guarantee because that's the logical sequence in your reader's brain. Now that he knows everything, he wants to know if there is a risk in buying your thing or if there is a risk reversal, if there is a backdoor, if there is a guarantee that your stuff will work and his money wouldn't be wasted on it. So what's the guarantee? Now, many people still put out those big and bold and stupid kind of guarantees that we used to read on sales pages back in early 2000s, like ironclad 14 days, no questions, money return guarantee. And I don't know if there are any fools who still fall for that kind of things, but as far as I'm, witnessing and learning from smart business practices, uh, different offer owners, I'm sorry, in copywriting world, for example, Joanna Weeb, for example, Stephen George, none of them try that kind of cheap things. So basically, when you are selling something to someone, there are a lot of man hours and man sweat put in that thing, invested in that thing. And you cannot just give your buyer's money back. It's not that easy, right? So instead of giving money back, you have to come up with a smart guarantee because the only guarantee in his mind, in his primitive buyer mind, is money back. But you cannot give money back. So and since you cannot give money back, you still need some guarantee. So what was the guarantee that Mihala Sekowitz used? I did a tear down of her about page. So her guarantee is awesome. Her guarantee is perfectionism. So she said that since I'm such a perfectionist, and since I am hell bent on making your copy better, I am the first person to be impressed by that copy in order for that copy to be sent over to you. So if I am not going to be happy, I will not send it over to you. And if I send it over to you, do know that you have to like it because that will pass my perfectionism test. See how smart that guarantee is. That's something that we can use, service sellers. So what's their guarantee? Their guarantee, their model of business is different. They're not selling services. There aren't many man hours invested in that. I mean, there are because they're creating a journal, but it's a subscription business, right? So their guarantee is the same that it is in case of many subscription businesses in this day and date that I know of, which is that they would give you back the undelivered portion of your subscription. They're not giving you back all of it. For example, if you bought subscription for $100 and you are supposed to receive one journal every week, which means four journals per month. And let's suppose that you have read three journals and you don't like them and now you want to cancel. If you cancel the subscription, you won't get $100 back. What you would get back is $25, the undelivered portion of subscription. That's a smart thing here. So then we come to the urgency part because once you have explained the offer, once you explain the guarantee, you cannot wait for your buyer to buy. I mean, if you let them go away with that, they might buy someone else's product, or they might, postpone buying your product. So they would buy that on any other day. They might buy that on any other day, but you don't want to give them that liberty. You want them to buy today. And for that, you have to create some sort of urgency. Like if you won't buy today, you would miss out on something. So one way of doing that is FOMO, fear of missing out, and you create fear of missing out with tactics like limited time offer. It's not available for the rest of the year. It's only available now, or limited seats, something like that. But those tactics are not very successful. So one of the way to create urgency is bandwagon effect, and that was introduced by I think Dan Kennedy. I mean, not introduced or created by that, but he mentioned of that in his book. So what's bandwagon effect? If there are a lot of people buying your product, that is definitely a bandwagon effect. If lot of people are buying it, that means it's a big product, it's a good product, and that means I should also buy it if I have an interest in that. So again, the example of a pen, for example, if I'm getting to know a lot of people that who bought a particular pen, it would definitely, trick my social animal kind of brain to think that if there are so many people buying this thing, this must be something very cool. So they have created that effect here with this millions of readers kind of thing, right? So that's the first thing. Leaning on how reasonable the offer is to get a sure victory here. Buy if offer sounds fair. Again, what you see is what you get kind of thing. So if you think that this offer is fair and reasonable, you will want to find out without delay if this journal can do for you what it is doing for millions of readers. So if this offer is good, you should place the order right now. So with logics, they are kind of blackmailing you. I'm sorry for using this word, but that's how it's working at emotional level. They're kind of blackmailing you into buying this thing. So please mail the enclosed order card now, and we will start serving you immediately. So that's again the same thing that you tell your customers what they have to do to buy stuff from you. And then it comes to this part. You're finishing the loop here. About those two college classmates I mentioned at the beginning of this letter, they were graduated from college together and together got started in the business world. So, what made their lives and business different? Knowledge, useful knowledge, and its applications. That's like a poem basically. One of the formats of Urdu poem here in Pakistan is that it creates a loop and it finishes a loop. So it creates a loop on something like a story in this case, and then it finishes the loop on that same sentence. So he's doing the same thing here. He's finishing the loop from where I'm sorry, from where he opened it, and he's finishing it with the same story. He's summarizing the story in order to remind the readers of what the story was, what was the problem of the avatars, and why they might resonate with their story and might align themselves with them. So, what was the solution? He's reminding them of that. And then comes the disclaimer part at the end of every big sales page today, because there are so many regulations, so many departments involved, FDA, legal and FTC, and whatnot. You have to have disclaimers at the end of sales pages. So there were certainly different rules back then in those days as well. Even if there are no rules, a disclaimer is a good idea to sort of reverse the risk on your part, reverse the risk for you. So you want to minimize the cancellations of the subscriptions. You want to minimize the refunds, right? So to do that, you have to give them a disclaimer part. So the smart thing about this disclaimer part is that they are telling you clearly that there is no promise that your success would be similar to that of the young man who became the president of the company. Success would be there, but it won't be instantly there, right? So that's a smart promise. The second thing is that they tell you that what they can guarantee. They have told you what they cannot guarantee. Now they're telling you what they can guarantee, and that those are some harmless things, which is a very smart thing. So if I tell you that I cannot promise magical results, but you would find this product reliable, useful, and interesting, it's a very smart thing to do. These are harmless promises. There is no benefit of attached to these promises, and basically no one is going to doubt them. If a product is from some company as big as Wall Street Journal, definitely it would be interesting because they're targeting their target customers. So to a businessman or someone interested in stocks or business, definitely it would be interesting. Definitely it would be reliable and useful. So this was my teardown of this amazing sales letter. And if you found this useful, kindly write back to me, give me your feedback. I would appreciate that. And if you like my stuff, kindly subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.